Hey guys, Tasha here from Stardust Gold Crochet. Today we're going to crochet a Christmas ornament, and if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up. Also hit the little notification bell so you can get notified of future videos. So these are the two samples I created, one with a Shapez and the other is with Premier Cotton. So to gather your materials, you're going to need a 3mm crochet hook, some scissors, a yarn needle, and also a glass ball, and I got these ornaments from Target. I'll leave the link in the blog post. This is the Premier Cotton that I used, and it's really nice. This is the cotton that I'm going to be using for this tutorial. This is the Shapez. It's a little different in tone and also in stretch, so they did turn out a little bit different from each other, but I like the way that the Premier Cotton turned out better because of the color is white. These are great, but be careful when you're working with them because I actually pricked my finger, and the top part of one of the balls fell off. So be careful. Make sure that you're very careful. So I did two kinds of starts. We've done a chain start. If you do a chain start, you want to chain at least 10 to 15 chains. And here I chained about 10, and then we're going to check to see if the size will fit around the ball on the top of the glass ornament. I keep saying ball. So you're going to do your chain and join, and then test it to see if it's wide enough to fit around your ball. And this one's not, so I'm going to chain a few more, slip stitch it up, and then see if it fits around the top again. Yeah, that one fits perfect, so I'm going to go with that. Test it and see which works for you. Magic circle method, if you're not familiar with the magic circle, this is a real easy way to do it. You wrap the yarn around 3 fingers, hold it with your pinky, put your hook like so, kind of twist it around, grab the yarn again, and then slip stitch it back through. And then you begin making your chain. So for round 1, we're going to make a chain of 4. Whether you're working into the magic circle or your chain, it doesn't matter. The first stitch is a treble, so we're going to do 1 treble into the center of your chain. A treble is where you yarn over twice. And then we're going to chain 5. And we're going to do 2 more trebles into the center of your circle. So you're yarning over 2 times with a treble, and then you're yarning over and drawing through 2 loops at a time until you have just 1 loop left on your hook. That's all how I always know my stitch is complete, when I have 1 loop left on my hook. And that's going to be a repeat. We're going to chain 5 and then do 2 trebles. So I'm going to work 1 more chain 5 with you. Then do 2 trebles and a chain 5 9 times. This yarn is a tad splitty, but it's still really nice and the cotton feels great. I'm going to work on the last one here, so I'm doing my last chain 5, and then we're going to join into the 4th chain, which is the starting chain. Join with a regular old slip stitch. So now we're going to head on to round 2. For round 2, we are going to do a couple slip stitches. We're going to slip stitch into the treble first. Then we're going to slip stitch into the next 3 chains. And they're a little tricky sometimes to get through, especially if you have a tight crochet tension, you might have difficulty getting through, but try to work through 2 loops of the chain so that it gives you a stable stitch. Sometimes when you do just the top loop, it ends up pulling out and stretching and kind of looks a little unfinished or messy. And so we're going to start round 2 with a chain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we're going to do a single crochet in the 3rd chain of our chain 5. And remember to work around 2 of those. And then we're going to do a repeat, a chain 7, and then single crochet in the 3rd chain. Do that 9 times around. Feel free to pause this video anytime you'd like. So we have the last of our chains, chain 7, and we're going to slip stitch into the base of the slip stitches that we did when we first started this round. And we're on to round 3. Round 3 starts with slip stitching in the next 4 chains. That one gave me a trouble. I speeded up the video just a little bit so that it wasn't too long. It's a 20-minute video, but these crochet ornaments, these work up really fast, surprisingly fast. Then we're going to chain 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the 4th chain of the chain 7. So count 4 from the right, counting to the left. And we do 1 single crochet, and we're going to repeat that around. So you're going to chain 9 and then single crochet in the 4th chain of the chain 7 from the previous round, or the chain 5, sorry. Now I've come around to the end, and we're going to work our slip stitch to close it. This is what it should look like so far. There's 1, 2, and round 3 we just completed. And you should have 9, 10 when you complete it. And again, we're going to work into the 4th of the slip stitches that we did from the beginning of the round, right at the base of the beginning of your 1st chain. All right, for round 4, we're going to start off with a chain 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to work some double crochets. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet all into this chain space from the previous. We do 1 more double crochet. Now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to work a double crochet into the single crochet from the previous round. All of these are very simple repeats. So we're going to do a chain 3, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the chain 9 space, and then we're going to do a 3 chain. So you do 1 double crochet, a chain 1, another double crochet, then you chain 3, you double crochet in the next single crochet, and that's your repeat. You chain 3 and repeat it around. Remember, this pattern is on my blog and it's a free pattern. When you get to the end, you're going to have a chain 3. you're going to work up to the top and you're going to slip stitch into the 4th chain to close it out. Now we're going to work on round 6. So for round 6, we start off with a slip stitch into the next 3 chains. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet. And we're trying to get over to the center of the single crochet, chain 1, sorry. So then we're going to slip stitch into the chain 1, and that brings us to where we want to be so we can start our round. So now we're going to chain 19. And then we're going to skip the double crochet, the chain, another double crochet, another chain, and another double crochet. And then we're going to do a single crochet into the center of the chain 1. And you're working into the chain space itself, not into the stitch. And that's going to repeat chain 19 and single crochet 1 into the chain space of the chain 1 between the 2 double crochets. So we skip all that and work straight through the center. You can pause the video, and when you come back, you join into the base of the chain 19. This is round 6, not last round. So we're going to work round 6, and this is where you're almost to the end. You want to make sure that this fits over the top of your ornament just fine. And we're going to work all slip stitches to join them together. So we're going to slip stitch in the next 10 chains to get up to the top of our chain 19 that we did. And remember, as I said before, try to just work through both of those, both loops. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. And you're welcome to pause the video at any time. Now we're at the top. We're basically just going to count 10 chains up. So, and then your slip stitch in the 10th chain. So when you count up, you want to make sure that your 10th chain is the one you actually work into. And that'll be the center of the chain 19. And remember to work through both of those. Kind of pull this tight when you're working around so that it creates a neat look to it. So again, work up 10 all the way to the center. Insert your hook into the 10th stitch around 2 loops and pull it here just a little, pull it a little tight so that it makes a nice even base. And I'm going to speed this up again and work around. You're welcome to pause the video until you get to where we need to be for the end. So here I've worked up probably 5 or 6, and I'm going to go ahead and place the glass ornament inside before it gets too tight and I'm not able to. And this is where you may have a little bit of trouble, but I thought it was really fun and kind of challenging because I've never worked around a ball before. Just make sure that you are very careful and don't hold it too tight, obviously. So find your 10th stitch and then work your slip stitch just like you would normally, except where we're just working with a ball. And you do that around until you're completely finished. The hardest part, I'd say, about working around this ball would be I had a really hard time with the very, very, very last slip stitch because it was hard to get it through. I think I made it a little bit too tight. So I guess the goal with slip stitches is to kind of do them a little bit loose so you're not struggling to get through your stitch when you come to the end, like we're about to be, like right here. So this is where I had a little bit of trouble, and I edited out the parts that I was struggling with. But this was the easy part. I actually made it through. And I don't think I actually went through the top 2 loops. I think I just kind of went around the bottom because it was easier. So I did my join. And now this row coming up, or this round, is going to be optional. You can do this, or you can just add your tassels, but I liked the little single crochet row. So you chain 1, and this you're going to work on the ball itself through the slip stitches and do a single crochet into each slip stitch around, and you should have 10 single crochets. And again, this was a little more difficult because it's working with this ball and not able to manipulate the yarn the way you normally do. But I did it, so I'm slip stitching through, and then I'm going to fasten it off. But don't cut your tail just yet. Just pull your yarn through and leave a long tail, because we're going to work with that in the tassels. But you can see it creates a nice little bottom and a little bit of a lip to the bottom. You can weave in the top tail, and I used the magic circle for this one, so it wasn't too tight. I didn't have to fuss it around the top of that too much, which is nice. And here we go. We're going to do the tassel. So grab a piece of your yarn, and I just wound around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Then just cut it, and then I cut one end of the loop and then just laid it out. I had a couple little straggler pieces. And what we do now is we're going to lay the yarn over the bottom of our ornament. Bring your needle through one side and out the other, kind of surrounding the pieces of yarn for the tassel. And when you do that, you don't want to pull too fast, because you want to make sure that your loop is surrounding the tassel pieces. And then I just pulled it kind of tight to secure it. And then I did that one more time by wrapping it around, going through the other side, going in the same way that I went before. And once you get to this point, we're almost finished. So now we're going to take the yarn that's attached to the needle, and we're going to wrap around and bunch all the other pieces of yarn together to create a more finished look for the tassel. So I wrapped around maybe 3 or 4 times. You can do different kinds of wraps too. My wrap's not too fancy. It's kind of simple, and I like that. So once you get to a point where you think you have enough wraps and it looks the way you want it to look, what I did was I took the piece of yarn attached to my needle, I went down through one of the wraps itself and kind of tied a little knot. And then I go back up through from the top to the bottom, through more of the wraps, even not just the few. Then I pull it all the way out, and I end up cutting the yarn. So it makes it really easy, and that's it. Now you did your Christmas ornament. this is called the Starlight Christmas ornament, and you go ahead and you can put your topper back on, and it's ready to go for a great gift or putting it on the Christmas tree. It's beautiful. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment on the blog, send me a message on Facebook, or leave a comment down below. This pattern is free, and it's written on the blog, and this video will also be on the blog as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, and remember to subscribe, hit the like and the notification buttons, or sign up for my email list, and you will get notified of all my future patterns and video tutorials. Thanks, guys. Happy crocheting.